Heather Torg. Heather was born on April 25th, 1972 in Kentucky, USA. Heather was sunbathing on Newburgh Beach in Henderson County on August 26, 1995, when at 12:45 a witness viewing the beach through a telescope across the Ohio River saw a chilling sight. He witnessed a male approach Heather, grab her by the hair and drag her into the woods at gunpoint. The witness described the man as wearing jeans but no shirt, and oddly wearing a wig and a mosquito net as well. The man was also approximately 6 foot tall and weighed about 230 pounds and had brown hair and a big bushy beard. After the disappearance being reported to the authorities, they examined the beach and found part of Heather's bathing swimsuit near the abduction site, but they were unable to find anything leading to her whereabouts. Heather was never seen again. A farmer in the area who was videotaping crop vandalism caught Heather's car and a red Ford Bronco, which was parked just down the road from Heather's. A man named Martin Dill was pulled over and searched following Heather's disappearance. His vehicle was a red Ford Bronco. The search of Dill's car turned out knives, guns, duct tape, gloves, rope and human hair. Dill also fitted the description of the man the witness had previously seen. Later that month, investigators received tips that Dill had committed the crime. As they arrived to his house, Dill told his wife to leave, and then Dill took his own life by shooting himself in the head. As of this day, Heather's disappearance remains unsolved due to the circumstances involved in her case. If she was still alive today, she would be 46 years old. Number 2. Tara Kaltko. On September the 20th, 1988, in Belen, New Mexico, Tara went out to enjoy a ride on her bike, which is something she did daily. However, this time she didn't return. Tara's mother used to join her on these rides, but had recently decided to stop as she believed a driver was stalking her. As a result of this, Tara's mother had tried to convince her to carry mace, but she refused, a decision that likely resulted in her disappearance. When Tara didn't come home, her mother began to search for her, but she was unsuccessful. She did, however, retrieve pieces of Tara's Walkman and a cassette tape, and this is where things begin to get very disturbing. On June the 15th, 1989, a Polaroid photograph of a young woman and a boy was discovered in a parking lot in Florida. The photograph was believed to be taken sometime after May of 1989, as the film used was not for sale until then. Tara's mother was able to identify Tara from the photograph due to a scar on her leg that she received from a car accident. Since this photograph was found, other photographs of a bound and gagged female have surfaced. However, these will not be released to the public. The boy in the photograph remains unidentified to this day, which is crazy to think that nobody is looking for him. In 2008, the sheriff of Valencia County gained information that 2 teenagers had accidentally hit and killed Tara and disposed of the body. However, no arrests were made, which means it's probably unlikely that this was the case. Tara's case remains open to this day, and she's been missing 30 years. Number 3. Brandon Lawson. Brandon was a father to 4 children, and on the night of August 8th, 2013, Brandon got into his car after having a heated argument with his girlfriend. Around 45 minutes after leaving the house, Brandon called his brother, saying that he was out of gas and needed assistance as soon as possible. So after receiving this call, both Brandon's brother and Brandon's girlfriend set out to find Brandon and take him to the nearest petrol station. However, just 12 minutes after this phone call took place between Brandon and his brother, Brandon made a 911 call, urgently requesting that the police were sent to his location, despite the fact that Brandon had an outstanding warrant against him.
Yes, I'm in the middle of the field. It's like we're just pushing guys over. Right here going towards Javelin on both sides. My truck ran out of gas. There's one car here. You gotta take the bitch to the woods. Pretty burning. And the one I talked to home. I show you in his home. That's the first guy. You need an ambulance? Yeah. No, I need the cops.
They were able to reach Brandon, although the signal was extremely poor. Brandon told his brother that he was just 10 minutes up the road, and for them to just hurry up and get there before hanging up. Brandon's girlfriend also briefly spoke with him on the phone, in which she heard him say, "I'm bleeding." Sadly, they were not able to reach Brandon on the phone again. The police officer left the scene after 20 minutes. Brandon's brother and his girlfriend continued to stay behind and look for him, although they were unsuccessful. They began to worry as they were unsure what to do. Unable to reach Brandon again, they simply left some petrol in his truck in hopes it would help him get home. There has been no activity on Brandon's phone or bank account, and he's been missing ever since. Number 4. Ben McDaniel. On the 18th of August at 7:30 p.m, Ben McDaniel was seen by 2 divers going into the Vortex Spring in Holmes County, Florida. He was presumed to be heading to the cave inside of the spring. Now, this particular spring is home to some very challenging and extremely treacherous caves. So treacherous, in fact, that it's claimed the lives of 13 people. The state of Florida had actually contemplated and debated whether or not they should ban the cave. So as a response to stop this from happening, the owners of the cave had put signs up highlighting the cave's dangerous reputation. And in addition to this, they had placed a locked gate 300 feet into the cave. Only certified and experienced divers were allowed beyond this point. A key was given to these divers that were capable of going into the cave. However, Ben was not one of these people, although he was very well known to the members of staff that were able to open the gate on his behalf. So one of the employees followed Ben to the cave, opened the locked gate, and then surfaced. He was the last person to see Ben again. A few days would pass, and people noticed that Ben's truck was still in the parking lot. The authorities were notified, and a search was soon underway. Search dogs and divers searched the area, and then soon, pro-rescue searchers were brought in, but after 36 days, Ben was still not found. The family placed a substantial reward for anybody that could find evidence leading to Ben's disappearance. That was until a diver searching for clues sadly lost his life, which goes to show how dangerous these caves can be. After the man died, the search was discontinued. People have speculated that Ben faked his own death to escape financial issues, or he was devoured by the aquatic life in the cave. Either way, there has been no trace of Ben since his disappearance, and he's been missing for 6 years. Number 5. Dennis Martin. Dennis was a 6-year-old boy, and on June the 14th, 1969, on Father's Day weekend, Dennis and his family were enjoying a hiking trip in the Great Smoky Mountains, which is something they did every year. The family stopped at a popular mountain meadow. This was a very common stopping place. The adults sat down and conversed, while Dennis and his brothers decided to play a little trick on the adults. They decided to split up and go into the woods and then jump out at their parents at the same time from different directions. Just as planned, the boys jumped out, frightening the parents, apart from Dennis. Dennis was nowhere to be seen. The adults asked where he was, but the 3 other boys simply thought Dennis missed the cue, so they patiently waited for him, and waited, and waited, but he never arrived. Dennis's father set out to find the boy, expecting to be hiding in the bushes waiting to jump out, but he couldn't find him anywhere. He screamed his name, but it went unanswered. The park rangers were notified of Dennis's disappearance, and a search soon began that would last until nightfall. The search had to be called off due to a heavy thunderstorm, and still there was no trace of Dennis. In a creepy and disturbing twist, a family had reported that they had been exploring 6 miles away from Dennis's disappearance, and that they had heard a child scream. One of the family members even said that they had seen a man with something slumped over his shoulder. In the next few days, the search efforts had expanded massively, involving park rangers, volunteers, police, locals, the FBI, National Guards, the Green Beret, bloodhounds, and even psychics. But despite all of their efforts, there was no trace of Dennis, and Dennis was never seen again.